Hey, Money Multipliers. Welcome back to another episode of the Money Multiplier podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Kessler, and we ask ourselves, do our dollars make sense? So welcome back. We're here in February now. And actually, it's one of my favorite times of the month. It's the love month. It's Valentine's Day month. So I'm very excited. I got a very cool guest on because a lot of y'all know that I have my foundation, and what I do throughout the year is I find good charities that I like to donate my dollars to, and I do it all through my foundation. And this is a 501c3 nonprofit that I think is really interesting, a world that I've never really dove deep into because given, I'm 25 years old, I don't got children. My children are my two kitty cats up to this point in my life, but it has really gotten me thinking because myself, I've thought about this. I don't think I really want to send my kids to private school, or excuse me, public school. I don't want to send my kids to public school. I know what I experienced during my public school years, and that's where you see in my book, The Single Millionaire Chick. I was a not great teenager, and I think it's just because I wasn't being mentally stimulated during those growing years in my life. So I have the pleasure of talking with Sarah Kwilinski today. And Sarah's based out of Michigan. She's got five kiddos up there in the Michigan area. And I really want her to come on and talk about her school and the classical education and her power for and passion for empowering the parents that she helps. So, Sarah, welcome on.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
So thank you. I guess my first question, because when I was really diving into this, what would you say? What is the differences and what really is classical education?
That is a great question, and there are many different answers. There's different flavors of it, different influences. Our influence comes from a woman named Charlotte Mason. She lived in England right about the same time Maria Montessori was in Italy. Both of them were reacting to this. Education was becoming like a factory, and it was becoming, let's plunk these kids in based on age, move them through a system. And Charlotte Mason said, wait a minute, we have whole people. They have minds, they have bodies, they have souls. Are we actually serving this whole human or just treating them like a widget in a factory?
Yeah.
And so Charlotte Mason laid out a great method of educating kids. We're outside a lot, we're in nature, we're focusing on beauty. That's not the first thing that normally comes to mind when you think of education in America. And whether it's public school, private school, I lump it all into modern education practices compared to classical. Um, in a real small nutshell, I would say the three hallmarks of classical education is the pursuit of goodness, beauty, and truth.
Hmm.
And if we're looking for those three things in everything that we do, we're probably on a classical path.
Yeah. Now, how did you get here? What's your journey that led you here and teaching and doing this?
Well, I have about 15 years as a public school special education teacher. And then an additional 6 or 7 years as a consultant where I traveled all over the state of Michigan helping special ed departments form their programs. And I would have these long drives. Michigan's a big state. When you get to the Upper Peninsula, you're halfway to Florida by that time. If you went the other way, definitely not by climate. But these long drives, and I would think, I keep seeing the same problems. I mean, it's a different faces, different names, but it's the same problems again and again and again in every single school that I work with. And I already had several decades of experience of my own in a classroom. And I thought, it's the structure and it's the systems. Those are broken. We have so created a system that is broken that these wonderful teachers, I mean, all teachers are, I will say, they're all good people. They're all doing the best they can. They're creative, they're dedicated, they're intelligent, they're hardworking. Special ed teachers, obviously, they're my people. They're even a little step above. They're doing the best they can, and the system is so broken they can't succeed within it. So I think people in our business community can have a similar story. They've said, hey, I saw that this system was broken. I wanted to create a better system. And that's, the entrepreneurial story. That's the American narrative of, I see what we have here. I think I can do it better. So Sundial really just came out of me driving and thinking, what's broken? Like really defining in my head, our schedule is broken. Our system of moving kids up through levels is broken. And I just started from the ground up and redesigned and created Sundial.
Wow, wow. And it's always now your school is in Michigan. Do you have other locations outside of your state?
No, we are pretty small. We are only just halfway through our third year, so we're very
Oh,
new. People keep asking me about franchising. It's probably down the road at some point, but I'd like to just get our feet under us right now.
yeah.
But we are growing really fast. I just calculated we've had about a 400% growth rate in 2.5 years.
Wow.
So, yep, there's a big demand. Parents see it. They come and walk through our space or talk to us, and they go, "Oh my goodness, this is so different. I want this for my kid."
Yeah. And actually, let me ask you, at your school, do you have like a waiting list? Are people like just biting at the bit to get in?
We have held back from marketing too much because we're in the process of construction. But as soon as this building opens and we start really telling people we're here, it's right now it's just been word of mouth. We will have a wait list soon.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good. Now, okay, so when the teachers are in class with the students, what's different about it? Is it more a hands-on approach? Is it, are they doing a whole bunch of testing? What really is the differences of what you are doing versus the traditional public schooling education that I just went to in Olathe, Kansas?
I think the key image to have in people's mind to explain what we do is a one-room schoolhouse.
Right.
So really just go back 70 years in America and you would have found this, even 50 years. So it's a one-room schoolhouse in the sense that we do not group kids based on age, and we do not promote kids based on seat time. And if
Hmm.
you really think about it, a child's age and how many hours they've sat in a class have nothing to do with real learning. Nothing. So we group kids in multi-age groups. So if I'm teaching a math class, I may have 4 students there who are 3 different ages. I may have an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 10-year-old all doing the same math class because that's where they are. That's what their level is. I've got an advanced student. I've got a student who needs to practice more. So we group based on ability, not age. And we require a demonstration of mastery. We're not passing them on just because they've sat in that, all high school, we talk about high school credits. Those credits are based on seat time. So a credit is really connected to an amount of time. And that is completely irrelevant. The kid could have sat there and tuned out and done the bare minimum, or they could have been an excellent student working extra hard. They both get the same credit, even though their experience was so different. So the Charlotte Mason model of classical education requires narration. That means kids have to tell us one-on-one, sit yourself down right here. I'm going to say, tell me what you learned in history this year. And they have to talk. And I have a 9-year-old who at the first day of school this year, I said, okay, let's review what we did last year. He talked for 20 minutes straight,
Yeah.
re-narrating all of history class last year. Now, how many 9-year-olds on the first day of school can tell the entire history class from the whole previous year? So we really require that deep depth of learning. That's probably another key hallmark of our program, is that we really want the kids to understand it themselves.
No, and you said something so perfect right there. It's the love of learning. Even as adults, like I was watching a Shark Tank episode, and there was a business that went up there and was showing people how to crochet. And one of her talking points is she was saying how we have kind of fallen out of love with the idea of learning something new. We think, oh, this is going to be hard, so I'm going to procrastinate. I don't need to know that. I'm just going to keep doing the same old that I've been doing. And I think that's very, very key because you have to keep learning and evolving. That's just essential to life, in my opinion. I call it not hitting the arrival syndrome because if you hit the arrival syndrome, you're better off as just rotting and be dead anyways. Pardon, but that's just how I feel. So I think that's a big, big one is teaching them the love of learning. And I guess one of my questions is too, because it's kind of what I was sharing before we even started recording our time here together, is that when I even left high school, because I left high school back in 2017, that's really not that long ago. When I left high school, I didn't know anything about writing a check, marketing, balancing a checkbook. And specifically, I want to ask you, are you even teaching kiddos? And I know because your school, what, a K through sixth grade, right? Is that your people?
Currently, we're going to be K through 12. We're
K through
growing
12.
with our students.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. And over the y'all helping them, is money a topic that you guys talk about? I'm just curious.
Oh, completely. In fact, one reason we're on a farm for a farmstead is because it'll open up all these entrepreneurial opportunities for our students. And so, I mean, to go back to what you're saying, Charlotte Mason says all education is self-education.
Mm,
And really think about that. When you graduated, were you empowered to say, not only do I not know how to do this, do I know how to figure out how to know this? Do I know how to teach myself to learn this skill? So yeah, entrepreneurialism is a huge part of our programming going forward. We're talking about um, having a little farmstead where kids are creating the products and then putting them for sale, and we're talking about, we even have this vision of kids being both producers and then constructors and then marketers. And so kids who have different strengths, and a kid may say, I don't want to do the work of producing, but I'll market it.
mm,
And that we have an avenue for that either through our website or through a farm stand. Yeah, the staff is super excited about that. And because it all fits with this, do you know what you know? And do you know if you've been learning? That's so key. There's nothing better than a dollar, bottom line for saying, did I know what I was doing here? Actually, nobody bought my product. Huh. Maybe I don't know what I think I know.
Hey, Money Multipliers! I just want to stop by and announce our live event coming up in Tampa, Florida, March 1st and 2nd, 2025. So myself and Larry Steinhaus, we're going to be co-hosting this event together. He's the author of Money Hacks and runs investor schooling up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So we got a lot of the elite people in their expert field coming out and just sharing the knowledge on alternative investing, getting out of the markets. How can I go and make my money work even harder for me instead of me going out there and working for it? I can now take my time freedom back. So go to moneygamelive.com and you can go and snag your tickets there. I'm so excited. I will see y'all here soon. Catch you then. Yes, yes. And then you ask for the advice, and then they have that community of the other kids and the students that they're with so that they have the sense of, okay, if I have this problem or I just need to talk this through with somebody, I got my friends and my peers here that will help me. So I just love that. And I want to ask too, because we're here at, kind of the start of 2025. Do y'all have some goals and things that you're working on this year that you're looking to implement?
Definitely. This is our whole year of construction. Actually, just today, we got electricity to our site. It's a very big day. We were watching the trucks out there earlier. So the construction of the site is our whole focus of fundraising has been this year. The staff just had a great session where we all got together and kind of dreamed together what we want. We've talked about a greenhouse and a carpentry shop that we need those buildings right away. So those are elemental to our kids being able to live out this dream of making things and creating. And so those are definitely top of our wish list right now.
Yes. Now, let me ask you this. For your students, are the parents very involved, or do you even require these parents to be very involved?
They are extremely involved. In fact, they come to us because they want to be involved. And one thing these parents don't like is that all modern schools, public, private, whatever they are, there's a hands-off policy where parents, drop your kid at the door and don't come inside. And I, as a teacher, never understood that. As a parent of 5 kids, I was completely intolerant of that. I said, no, I'm coming in. You've got my kid, I'm there too. And so we actually in our previous space had extra space we opened up to parents who want to work remote. We're like, we have parents who work remote, stay, come hang out, and here's an office for you. We really want that community aspect, and we love that our parents are deeply involved.
Yeah. And now, what are some of the tips that you are giving the parents to bring this education into the home life? Because that's a very big thing too, is that they do need to keep integrating it into around the kitchen table when they're spending the weekends with the family. What are some of the tips that you're giving the parents to continue on the learning and the evolving process?
Well, we actually have a document that calls the 8 principles that make the sundial difference, and that's available to your listeners. I've sent you the link there. You're welcome to share.
I love.
And it kind of outlines, based on high quality resources, looking into research and child development and other great thinkers, what should a parent look for in an educational experience for their child? And the bottom line for me is I want an experience that does not allow my child to be passive, but
Mhm.
instead requires them to be active. And so the tagline is we say that modern practices induce passivity, but Sundial's methods inspire ownership.
Mm.
And so I would challenge parents every time you drop your kid off to an educational experience, if it's piano lessons, if it's a school setting, if it's a soccer club, whatever it is, ask yourself, is the adult in charge doing what they're doing as a performance for the parents? Because that's all letter grades and report and homework are. They're just performance for the parents. They're not even about the kid. It's the teacher performing for the parents. So all of that, if you took it aside, what would actually be happening for that child? Take aside the performative part that's just done for the parents and look at that program and say, is the adult in charge of this program creating a program that is focused on requiring the students to demonstrate learning? Because parents say, well, we need homework because my kid comes home and I say, what do you do at school today? And the kid says, I don't know. Well, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Right there is the problem. And so we teach our parents to teach their children, no, I expect you to answer. What did you do at school today? And so for adults to create homework and the parents to sit with the homework and send it back when we give a grade, that's all about the adults and nothing about the kid. And so I would just challenge parents to really look at every educational experience and say, is a lot of this busy work performance for the parents? What would this look like differently if the child was required to report what they learned?
Yeah.
If the child was the active participant here, what would this look like?
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I really like about y'all. It's always putting the child first and their needs for the development to cater them into that person to live a purpose-driven life. I know that it's kind of put on the back burner. Parents get, busy with their life in the day to day, but it should be a main focus when you are building your empire for your family, because I do think that how you were raised, I don't know that this is just my opinion, but how you were raised really does determine your ideas, how you think, how you communicate with one another. And you're very impressionable as a young child, and it's harder to shift what you've been taught when you are an adult because of all those years of what you absorbed as a child. So I'm really supporting y'all. I would even love to come out there to Michigan, see what y'all are up to as well. And for my listeners, I mean, do y'all have any, webinars that y'all do or upcoming events that people could tune in and see what you are doing in the school?
Yeah, we're as soon as we're in our building, we're going to start having a regular open house that's open to people once a month. They can come by. Currently, we have a website and a Facebook page. We try to update that pretty often with what's going on. I also am at the same time relaunching, I should say, my consulting business. So if people are in the field of education or even parents who are homeschooling, who are just wanting some advice, they can tap into my consulting. That's a tab on our website. There's a quick little video series they can purchase right off the bat to kind of learn more about the sundial difference and how we rethink what we're doing to try to build a better plane as we're flying along here. So yeah, we also have a newsletter. Parents or anyone can ask to be on our newsletter to find out about more events that we're holding in the future.
Yes. All right. And hey, y'all, all of the links for everything is going to be down below in the description box for the website, Facebook page, and then also the PDF that I have too. I'm going to be linking that down below. And Sarah, let me know as well if there's any topics, because hey, what I would love to do and one of my focus for 2025 is getting into the high school, the middle school curriculum and maybe having a guest speaker come in and talk about my niche is just money because that's my favorite thing to talk about. But if you are needing some folks to be guest speakers and different things, I think that would be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to this year. So, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you want to leave with my listeners?
Oh my goodness. Well, only about like 10 more books or something, only a few things. No, I would just say, Hannah, I love this. Another, I guess, key to who we are is hospitality. And my definition of hospitality is build a really durable table and then you can bring everybody in. And I think in America today, we're so polarized, we're so afraid of different opinions. But Sundial believes we can do this. We can teach our children how to be hospitable. So Sundial has a durable table. We bring everybody in. We would absolutely love to have you come out and do any kind of education, any seminars that we were doing. That would be fabulous. And we just look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Absolutely. So, y'all, as I mentioned, I'm going to put everything down below in the description box. And Sarah Kwilinski, thank you. I appreciate you for coming on. And we'll have another chat here in a little bit, okay? So, I'll catch you soon.
All right. Thanks, Hannah. Bye-bye.
Well, y'all, I hope you enjoyed our short little interview. I thought it was fun just because start thinking right now for my people who are in a structure, they're looking for tax deductions for donations that they're making to various 501c3s. Sundial Classical is a school that I really believe in. I love how they are shaping the children, their minds, and, having the one-on-one connections and intentions with their students. So it got me really thinking. Let me tell you, I was having a conversation earlier today with one of my clients, and I've really started to change a lot of my conversations when I'm talking with people. It's not just all business, business, business. These people are human. They got their own shit that's going on in their lives. And I think that's why it's so important that we have these different resources, the communities to help each other instead of just leaving it to big businesses, big banks, the government, and big institutions. I really do think that we need to take back the control of our mind, our freedom, what we say, just everything in between and what we do and how we act. So I encourage y'all, check out Sarah Kwilinski and her business, what she's got going on over there. She's an incredible individual, and I actually got turned on to her from somebody who is on the Money Multiplier team. So shout out to you. Thank you. And go check them out, okay? Go and visit them too. If you are in the Lansing, Michigan area, they are posted out there. There's a lot of cool things. Because I can tell you, I would have loved to have done that stuff when I was a kid. I think that's what would have saved me a lot of the headache and the heartache that I caused my family because I just wasn't being mentally stimulated as a child. So very grateful to all of the connections that I made along this way, and Sarah being one of them. So check them out down below. All of their links are down there. And if you got any questions, I'll turn you on to other 501c3s that I like to partner with and do business with. And one of the things I'm going to do this year is travel around to some of those locations of what I have been doing and giving my donation dollars to. Like there's a group here just over in Orlando that they train the dogs, and they will basically training service dogs for lack of better words, so I love that. We need it, and there's a big importance behind it. So thank you for being here. I will be back next week with another episode, and happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Get some love in this week. I'll catch y'all later, okay? Bye-bye.